Hi everyone, my name is Melissa Tucker,
And I'm Beth Stagnolia.
and we are the family advocacy nurses here at Whiteman Air Force Base, and we are the ones that manage the New Parent Support Program.
We're going to tell you a little bit about our program today. So this is a DoD-wide program. It's available at most military bases, even overseas. We provide information, resources to support military families. This is a voluntary program. And normally how we do it is we actually do home visitation with our families. But right now during COVID, we are doing Skype visits. So we have virtual visits with our families, and it really works well. We're able to see each other and interact that way through Skype. So who is eligible? If you're expecting a baby, if you have children under the age of 3, if you've adopted a child, or if you get married and you have a blended family, then you're eligible. So who we are, we're a team. Like we said, we're registered nurses. We also have counselors and program assistants in our family advocacy program, and we're able to meet with our families, any of those components. So what information do we provide? There's a big list here, but we can cover any of these topics, and we can cover, if there's specific topics that you really want to focus on, we can do that, or we can just, cover general information like it says here, prenatal, fetal education, labor and delivery prep, prepping for your newborn to come, infant care, calming and soothing the infant, sleep training, breastfeeding, bottle feeding, any of that nutrition. Introducing solid foods, SIDS, growth and development from birth to 3 years old. So we use the ASQ sheets that kind of guide us to see if your child is meeting their milestones. Toilet training, temper tantrums, discipline, child-proofing, and we have a whole lot of resources that we can give you. So any resources in the community, military, those type of things, we help guide you and find what you need. So we have a library, and we have videos, DVDs, books that are available to check out. We also have some books we can give our families who engage in our program. This is Dad's 101, the basics. And so this is a class, like it says, it's a 4-hour-long session taught by experienced dads, kind of helps the dads gain confidence in becoming a dad. And there's one coming up soon, so this is the number you call if you would like to sign up and get your name on the list to be added to that class when it starts. So I'm going to let Melissa start with the purple crime.
Thank you so much, Beth. Again, my name is Melissa Tucker, and I'm one of the family advocacy nurses that manage the New Parent Support Program. Something that we actually go over quite a bit, me and Beth, during our classes, our virtual visits, home visits, anything like that. We go over the acronym Purple Crying. It's called the period of purple crying. This basically replaces the old terminology of colic. After years of research, researchers have found that there is nothing wrong with the infant. There's no pain, there's no discomfort, there's no gas, constipation, reflux. There's nothing neurologically wrong with the infant, and there's nothing wrong that the parents are doing. All babies will go through this phase of increased fussiness. Some babies just cry more than others. So this is an acronym that we really strive to teach everyone. So purple, the first P stands for peak of crying. All infants start increasing with their fussiness around 2 weeks of age, because they're starting to stay awake a little bit longer, and they still don't know how to self-regulate and soothe themselves down. But then it actually peaks at 2 months of age. So it kind of starts at 2 weeks and then peaks at 2 months, roughly sometimes about a month and a half, give or take. Every infant's a little bit different. But then it slowly weans down by around 4 months of age. So in general, all infants will start around 2 weeks of age with fussiness, peak at 2 months, and then slowly start weaning back down around 4 months of age. U is for unexpected, meaning that there's no rhyme or reason. There's nothing that you can figure out what's causing them to be upset. Just like I said with the research, there's no pain, discomfort, hunger, dirty diaper, there's nothing that really is indicating the reason why they are crying. R is for resistant soothing. So you're still going to look from like head to toe, what are some things that could be causing them to be crying, such as hunger, dirty diaper, uncomfortable, something like that. But then we'll try some soothing tips, which is something that me and Beth go over a lot with our visits and our classes. But even though we might go over those tips, they will be resistant to soothing at this period of time. It may work for like about 5 minutes, but then they can start crying again. And the normal period of time of crying during this phase is up to 2 to actually 3 hours a day total, not all at one time, but total during the day for the period of purple crying. The second P is pain-like face and pain-like cry. This is what gets a lot of my parents kind of concerned and nervous, is because when they're going through this phase, they do have a high-pitched kind of cry, which is very similar to a pain cry. So then they'll think that there's something wrong medically with the infant or pain that's happening. We always recommend to always get evaluated by pediatric clinic here downstairs, just to rule out any medical concerns or pain concerns. But in the end, it generally results that they are actually going through the period of purple crying phase. L is for long lasting. Like I said before, normal crying is about 2 to 3 hours a day. Some infants, when they are really hitting period of purple crying, they can go as much as 5 hours total a day. It's usually kind of broken up. It's not usually all at one time, but it can last quite a bit of time. And when it usually happens is at the evening. It usually infants start to have cluster feeding and increased fussiness in the early evening, sometimes late afternoon, is when they'll usually peak with their fussiness. So ways to soothe your child, like I've said before, we can try to assess and take care of the basic needs. Are they hungry? Are they dirty? Are they uncomfortable? Check for any tags that might be sticking them somewhere. Check their hands and feet and see if they are cold, and put some socks on them. After those needs are met and we know that there's nothing physically wrong, what we really recommend is the 5 S's. These methods are swaddling, shushing, sideline position, sucking, and swinging. These are all methods called deemed by the happiest baby on the block. His name is Dr. Karp with a K. You can actually Google some brief videos of him. We have those videos here as well, and so does the pediatric clinic downstairs. But he'll actually demonstrate that. That is something that we actually go over and demonstrate in our visits as well. We are hopefully soon pursuing to have a baby's basic class that will be virtually done as well. And we will demonstrate how to do all 5 of those. But in the end, we are humans, and so caregivers, everybody can become frustrated. So when that happens, absolutely lay them down flat on their back in a crib or a playpen, walk away, go out of the room, go to another area of the house. The biggest thing I'm going to recommend is go to a quiet place, but deep breathe, at least 10 deep breaths in through the nose and then out through the mouth in a controlled manner. These are actually breathing techniques we do in labor and delivery during a natural childbirth, because it physiologically reduces your heart rate and makes you calm down. Cold washcloth, listen to music, anything that can kind of reset you so we can go back and try again. It is okay to let them cry if they're on their back in a safe place. It is okay for them to cry 5-10 minutes. And check in on them, make sure they're safe. If you've got a video monitor, you know they're safe if you can see that they've got an open patent airway because they're screaming. It's okay to let them cry for 10 minutes. As long as we go out to another room, deep breathe, call for support, come back and we'll try again. So you probably can't really see this right now from our video, but there is a purple crying app. You can actually Google this. Anybody with an iPhone or an Apple device, they can actually get this app for free for the first year of life with a kiddo. But we here at New Parent Support, we can provide free online app coach to anybody with any kind of device, smartphone, laptop, anything like that. This app is something we really recommend all our families to download, preferably before you deliver, but to keep on your phone for the first 4 months of life. They have their own growth charting profile that you can make where you can track their growth, the breastfeeding, bottle feeding, sleep amounts, and so forth. Then the whole other side of the app is going over possible reasons why they're crying, what is normal crying, how to soothe them, tips on soothing, and then coping and reassuring that this is a normal, expected phase, and it is a phase that will end. There is a period in the end of sight. That's why it says period of purple crying. There is an end in sight, just like a period on a sentence. One other thing I want to briefly go over is just safe sleep. So with SIDS, we don't generally really know what exactly causes sudden infant death syndrome. All we know are the protective factors and the risk factors that are in place with those cases. So over here is the quick kind of top 5 things that we encourage all our parents to know about and comply with. Always lay them flat on their back to sleep. Once they get older and they can roll both ways on their own, still put them on their back to sleep. But in the middle of the night, if they're flipping themselves over and they can get in and out of that position, you don't have to wake them back up and put them back on their back. It's okay. They need to be on a firm mattress or surface of some sort. You can use just regular crib mattress or even a playpen. The biggest thing is that they've got to be alone in their crib or playpen. No co-sleeping in the same bed because suffocation does occur and still occurs to this day. The next thing that they recommend is to remove pretty much everything from the crib, or it looks just like this. No crib bumpers, no loose blankets, no stuffed animals, anything like that. So, that being said, they can be swaddled. I put a little tip over here. You can swaddle your infant with a light cotton fabric or like a muslin fabric, something that is thin. You can swaddle them and put them down on their back. We can swaddle them up until they are starting to roll both ways on their own. Once they do that, we've got to stop swaddling. We want their arms out to protect them so that they can move around. So the next thing is no loose blankets either. We've got to do away from that because that can still cover their face and suffocate. The next thing that they recommend is switching them now to a sleeper, a sleep sack, a sleep gown. Usually anything that kind of covers their feet is what they tend to respond well to. And that's that 5. The one other thing I want to go over is prevent overheating with infants. So that is a big risk factor for SIDS. We don't encourage, those heavy fleece blankets. We definitely don't encourage to swaddle them with a heavy fleece blanket or anything like that because it can definitely overheat them. Also watch the swaddle sacks and sleep sacks that are out there. If they're a heavier material, thick material, or like fleece, that can get them overheated as well. The last slide we have is just general car seat safety tips. So Beth will be attending a course pretty soon to become a child passenger safety technician, someone that can actually check and verify the correct installation of a car seat. I am waiting to get my renewal license, so I can't do that right now. But in the meantime, you can contact any WIC office in Warrensburg or Sedalia, and they have car seat safety technicians as well. Just call them, schedule an appointment with them, and they will check the installation of your car seat. Real quick though, these are some general tips. Rear facing, they need to be rear facing for 2 years of life. Most states, the law is 2 years. Missouri is technically 1 year right now, but they are in the process of changing it to 2 years. So it will become a law that children need to be rear facing for 2 years of life. Never place a rear facing infant in the front seat of a car, ever, because if that airbag deploys, that is very dangerous with an infant. Every car seat will have labels, so check the car seat labels. It'll give you some basic information of when it was manufactured, but it will also tell you the size limits of how long you can use that car seat. So what they're looking at is the weight and the height of the infant or toddler. It will always be posted on the side of that car seat. Seat belt. So 2 ways that you can install a car seat is either the seat belt of the vehicle or the latch system that is on the actual car seat. You cannot use both of them. You have to choose one method or the other. Latch. The latch system is like an alligator clip that clips onto anchors that are in your back seat, your back row seats. You probably have never seen them before, but there's 2 little anchors, usually on the 2 outside seats of the back row seat. That's where you can latch car seats on. But you have to choose either one, not both. Then once you've got it installed, you're gonna check at the base of the car seat. So the car seat's right here. We're gonna check right here where it connects in the vehicle seat. If it moves more than 1 inch side to side or up to down, it is too loose. We need to still get it tighter. The pinch test is right up by the child's shoulder with the harness, the 5-point harness. We need to check to see if we can get a good pinch in. If we can get a good pinch in with that harness, it's too loose. The next thing is the harness clip. The harness clip needs to be at the chest or armpit level, not too high or not too low. Also, the other thing is when they're rear facing right here at the shoulders, the harness needs to be either at or below their shoulders, not above. And that should be our last slide. So if you guys ever have any questions or you would like to sign up with our program, call 660-687-4341. And they will get your information and then we will give you a holler. That's also the same number that you can contact Corey for the Dads to Basics class. That is it from New Parent Support Program. Hope you guys have a great day.